the snap. A miss.
Looking dangerous, Williams at times. Oscar Allen, good contest, and it's simple footy, but it's effective for the Eagles at the moment.
Feels like a different spirit, different energy being played with today by the home team. What we've seen over the last little while is now Wilson. Europe will go. Wood up to Filippo. They get out here. The mark is dropped. Otherwise, they were going inside 50.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot today, where the Saints have just made a fundamental skill error, whether it's a missed tackle, a fumble, a slight drop mark. Frustrating times for Ross Lyon in the coach's box, I'm sure.
Ready to ponder. Marshall, the hit out. Trips. Hewitt, good tackle. Garcia. Kelly's in there battling with Hall. Searching for his first win as Eagles coach. Set it up in the first half. Got the first goal of this third term.
Elijah Hewitt, he had 5 disposals. He's one of those players you think if he can get going for West Coast, then it could be all too late for the Saints.
Getting Miller up, tackled over the line.
Seems to be the difference at the moment that the West Coast mids are a bit more explosive, a bit more inside to out, can do a bit more damage with less possessions.
Going on between Garcia and Hewitt. Marshall controlled it. Feeds a handball forward. Baker was ready to accept it. Now Hewitt can try to push forward. The run from Baker continues. Got a good block from Flynn. And he wants to look inside and out. He ran an awfully long way. Kick goes inside 50. Dross is there. Wade Burns, Saints defence. Now Wilkie to Hill. They'll escape out through Marshall. And chip their way up the wing. Owens. Margin 26. Owens ran himself into some trouble. Goes back for Burns. Try and switch it to the open side. Find Hill. He'll go off a step. Up towards Higgins. Duggan, good spoil. Higgins a recovery though. Kept his feet. Can he keep it inside play? Cleverly handled it onto the shin of Marek to get the out on the full. That was brilliant thinking by Jack Higgins as he goes inside 50. He almost put it out himself and Edwards knocked it down. Duggan, a dump kick out of defence, was touched off the boot. Marek has to wait for it. Got Reed in support, close to the boundary line. The fend was good enough to get it through to Jaden Hunt. And this is when they want to attack the game, which we haven't seen so much of in recent weeks. Kelly with a run and a bounce. Ryan and Allen were out looking forward, but just too far away. They run themselves into trouble. Still a chance. Duggan. Hewitt, Orange Marrow building. Waterman looks up, wants an option. Clever kick, Ross there, but over the top O'Connell. Saves the day for the Saints. Game opening up a touch the last couple of possessions. Wanganeen Miller. Baker's got hand, good tackle. Causes the turnover. Defence into attack. And now it's Graham for Allen.
Chaos. That's what the game's been the last 5 or 6 minutes, trying to work out who it suits more. At the moment, you'd think West Coast have been training this play a little bit more than St Kilda.
It's great work from Baker here, isn't it? Just
Brilliant play.
you can see Wanganeen Miller wanted to take him on, but he wasn't having any of it, Liam Baker, and it's a turnover in your front half, and you get a shot of goal as a result of it.
He's a forward player. He always looks forward when he gets the ball. Doesn't look like lateral or backwards. He'll take the game on every chance he gets.
Oscar Allen. Only a good set shot. Try to sneak it inside that post, but it hit the woodwork.
Well, West Coast after, and this is the upside for them, they were down -8 clearances in the first half, but they've started this quarter so well. They're +5, so it was an advantage for the Saints in terms of at least getting the clearance up. This is what's turned over.
Yeah, not 15 for Webster. He wasn't aware of it, and holding the ball is the call.
It's just a difficult situation the players have to face now, those 14.5-metre kicks.
And it stays on the 50 for the Eagles. Oscar Allen must tee it up to the hot spot. Waterman almost Good hands to it. Dross not declared. Brockman's in there. Mason Wood's got some issues. And it's going to be a ball up.
Pressure from both sides is up over 200. Who can last the longest in this intense sort of part of the game?
Looks the caught in a tough situation there. The confusion as to who's going to ruck here for the Eagles. Marshall couldn't clear it with a kick. McRae just wanted to heave it wide. Sharman up, knocked it down. Phillippo was in there, as is Duggan.
Like Duggan's game today. He looks light on his feet. Doesn't always look like that. He's had a good week on the track by the looks of it.
Stays inside 50 for the Eagles. Hewitt bursting, shrugged off. Wanganeen Miller just in time. Baker puts the clamps on. And again it will stay with another stoppage inside 50 for Wallich-Murrow.
There's just a hunger from Wallich-Murrow. They're hunting in numbers, in packs, creating stoppage after stoppage.
Flynn, the set play to the path of Ryan. And it's out to the right.
Just wonder if the Saints might be thinking about using maybe Darcy Wilson or perhaps Phillippo up around the ball a bit more, just to change up their mix.
Kick long. Cole spoiled it down. Wilson's there. Good tackle from Jaden Hunt. Crosby's the handball. Coughed it up to Sinclair. Steele, Wilkie, Wilson. Can the Saints find their way through? They find it to Winhagen.
It's almost getting at that desperation stage to a certain extent to at least pull a lever. Otherwise,
well, it feels like it does, but they kicked one goal this quarter at West Coast, so it hasn't, as much of the dominance has been there, they haven't really cashed in. Just get the feeling the Saints they'll get their look soon. And how do West Coast respond is the next step that you'd be thinking about if you're in the box.
Marshall in front. Phillippo there. Sinclair. He's found a heap of it. Inside 50. Bounce will be important here. Collard. Lightning quick. Edwards played it well. Wrestled the footy away. Jimmy. Cole. Now Hoff to Duggan. Stings the ball up the line. Bailey Williams presents and kicked it in play and to the boundary.
I think you're right about the midfield. They've sent up an extra number and that particular stoppage. West Coast had an extra behind the play, which really helped them on that entry.
Phillippo's the one who's come up, so is this one deliberate? Yes, it is.
Certainly should have been called. Wasn't disguised at all. And Williams down low, that one trickles its way back over.
This is the interesting phase when your second ruck comes into play and it's a legitimate ruckman against a forward ruck. Really an opportunity to get on top around the ball.
Bailey Williams against Owens. Front position. Owens got to nudge him underneath it. Garcia gained some territory. Bounce crucial. Went past a couple. Sharman knocked it down and was collected.
Yeah, so they've got an extra number behind the ball in those situations because you can see that Jinby's the one. Or Baker, they're trying to free up one of those two behind the ball. Baker at the moment it is.
Garcia's kick didn't go far. Jaden Hunt overran it. Garcia goes inside 50. And a free kick for a hole will go to the Eagles defender.
And so if that's the case, you've got the extra number around the stoppage. You need to use your hands and drive by legs. You just can't kick it forward because it's just too easy for West Coast to mop that one up.
Sometimes you do it when you've got an inferior ruck, you send an extra number up just for the 5 minutes while Marshall's not there, just to make sure you've got things covered, but it hasn't really worked for him.
Off with a long kick up the line. Waterman hands to it. Webster, Wilkie, Sinclair. McLennan. Through the middle of the ground, unsure where to go. He handled it straight to Cole. Now the turnover could prove critical. They go long towards Oscar Allen. A mistake in the middle. It was always going to hurt back the other way.
Fundamentals, really hard to fix that. Young player, opportunity to really chain through the corridor. Really good pressure from West Coast. It's been there all day. Perceived pressure's kicked in now.
Oscar Allen from close range to push the margin past 30. And he's got his seconds.
I've seen it. It's been a sign for most of the match, but a fumble, missed tackle, and just getting around young Angus. after this turnover because they were out. They actually had even numbers ahead of the play. He just tried to bite off one more handball, and when you turn it over there, it is impossible to defend behind that. You can see he's in two minds. Do I give it? Do I go forward? And if you're caught in thinking mode out there, it's too late. There's just too much pressure. Particularly today, both teams have been very impressive with their pressure. And when you're thinking and not doing, then you turn it over and the coach is not happy.
Breaks the phone. Yeah, look, second game.
Yeah.
Really good visual defence from West Coast to force him into another play.
Home crowd can sense something. Out of the middle, the Saints need to find a response, and it's Wanganeen Miller who's provided the drive through the game. A little fumble from Phillippo. They get it through to Winhager. They almost break through the lines. Winhager, another chance to respond for the Saints. They need the goal, but it's just away. And wrestle is on.
Wrestle on off the play here as the umpire's right there, but that sums up St Kilda's day. With handballs, fumble, and then a shanky. As you aim for the goal.
The Eagles bring it out of defence. Rookie in front. Webster. Hill. Nimble enough to get away. And he's sent the ball forward, but Baker's been camped there. And it will be a 50. Phillippo, it's a little bit too much after Baker had taken the mark.
Spoken about him a lot tonight. He's led well all day, hasn't he?
Oh, he's been great. Yeah, he's been fantastic.
It's really settled along with his mate here.
Nice checking as he goes short to Premiership Tigers combined. Baker to Graham. Saints with a lot of numbers back. Graham's going to go long into the pocket. Reid just pushed his man out, waited behind the snap off the left. It was tight, but it was a point.
Pretty hot. Had a big afternoon. 19 disposals. Almost 400 metres gained. A couple of clearances as well. And 4 score involvements. Talked about him earlier, Simmer, but he's really progressed well to that midfield role.
Caminiti pressured. Let's go on to ground. McRae, Burns. They're under the pump. The Eagles' pressure's been right up all afternoon.
What do you think one of the moves they can do is just settle things down? This try and
Turn it over.
It's just not working at the moment.
Turn it over again. Hoff to Cole. Takes his time. Looks for the best option. Bailey Williams had the reach. Wilkie a good spoil. Jaden Hunt spun right around without getting rid of it. And holding the ball to Cole.
Second goal's 3 from their attacking mid-zone, West Coast. So it talks to the pressure they're bringing in the way that they want to play, but St Kilda just an inability to move it out of their back half.
There's a lot of panic kicks at the moment.
8 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Marek. Forward half intercepts. 21-10 in the game. It's where the Eagles have to get repeat entries. And a bullet-like kick. The mark, no drop by Hewitt. Jaden Hunt in there. Cole was desperate for it. McRae in there too.
It's the first time they actually lowered their eyes for a free player. And it has been working, these deep entries, kick it to your forward's advantage. Not all the marks have been taken, but we've had plenty of forward 50 stoppages, which allows you to set up.
Flynn smashed it forward. McRae out of defence. In front, Wilson. Marek did well to knock it down. Hoff involved again. Jaden Hunt with a long ball into the pocket. And will go over for behind.
Nine goals, 10 today for West Coast. Lift a couple on the table.
Saints just trying to get some territory. Out to Sinclair. Too much on the kick. It works out okay. Keep it rolling through Winhager. Important ball here. Higgins very open 50 if he can get it over the top. Sharman's there waiting to accept. They can look goalward. Sends it in. Wilson. And again, the Saints just find a way. They've done it a few times today to go from one end to the other.
Yeah, it's a great kick from Winhager that set the play up because Higgins wasn't sure which way. And then Winhager said, we'll just go forward for us because we'd like a break in our back half. And then 2 wonderful kicks. The Sharma one here to Wilson was a beauty.
Frustrated Andrew McQualter there.
Well, he should be. They had a few opportunities. That was a point kick in. It went all the way. Scoring from kick-ins is not normally a heavy score source.
They didn't spot him in the square. They won't now. As he pops through the goal, could that provide a spark for the Saints?
I desperately needed to say the least for Euro. That was the kick from Windhager, set up well. Then it's the first give, and have a look at this kick. Unselfish, top of the square. Wilson goes back and kicks it in. Absolutely needed that, did the Saints, because it's a 14-5 inside 50. It's just a bit of relief and still gives them a chance.
The door's still open.
Yeah, with 6.5 minutes left.
1 goal 1 to 2 goals 5 for the quarter, so massive 6 or 7 minutes coming up.
Movement down on the Saints bench as well. We see their sub Toby Travalia has taken the sub shirt off and about to come on, so we'll just get confirmation from the Saints.
Nice calf. Thanks, McLennan. The sub for the Saints and get it out of the middle here. Can they find back to that goals? The kick goes wide from Garcia and out of play. Travalia ready to get out there. 30 disposals in the VFL last week. As the ball's back in. Hewitt after it. Crucial part of this game coming up. And the Saints make some inroads into the deficit. 29 points as it stands, holding the ball. Good tackle from Steele.
Great tackle from Steele. Stayed active with his legs and his arms.
And now he'll go into the pocket. Owens, Edwards down there at the back. A whistle, a push. And a free kick goes the Eagles' way.
And against Owens, he used the body a bit too early and saw the umpire saw it. Just even up the clearance numbers the last 2 or 3 minutes. In fact, here's the free kick from Steele, but in fact they've gone ahead of them from clearance numbers. So that's the opportunity for the Saints.
Free kick there. Paid, the Eagles get it out of defence, but Wilkie will send it back in on the boot in front. Higgins!
It's a great play from Callum Wilkie.
So it's a field position game.
He steps around and he snaps at the goal. Higgins has got a couple. The Saints getting back into it.
A bit of push and shove off the ball. There's got a bit of spice in this one, and there's particularly this third term. I think Harley Reid maybe instigated some of that. What a surprise, but it's you're right. It's a 4.5 game, or at least a field position game, more so than many games we've seen this season.
Yeah, well, if you're not blessed with experience and talent, your first step from a style of play point of view is just get some entries and let's defend. And team defence doesn't kick in until it gets in your front half. So can't be too critical of St Kilda's team defence. It's just their inability to get it in the front half. So clearances looks like it's the way to go. Sort of centre bounce clearance, centre forward clearance, deep entry, and then you get your turnover going.
Bit getting on there as Reid went down early.
Well, we know what would happen if that was the other way around.
Jack Higgins has had a terrific season so far. A couple of goals here. The Eagles out of the middle trying to respond through Ryan, who got the clearance. The high ball in, off hands, trips, Hoff, twisting, turning, thinking goals, hasn't kicked one, wants the bounce and rolls in on end. It's no hassle for Hoff. His first goal in the AFL brings the crowd and his teammates to life.
Much loved. He's a much loved clubman. Wears his heart on his sleeve. He's just elevated every year.
It's been huge today as well. 22 disposed. What about this talk from Liam Ryan? Just up a couple of steps. I'll just launch a 60. Yeah. Thank you very much. And then good contest from your forwards. And where the most good small forwards and midfielders, where should they be? Front centre. Gets a nice little bounce. And have a look at the reaction from the players. They absolutely loved it. Look at the coach.
Well, they needed it too.
Yeah.
Game number 63. They knew he hadn't kicked one yet. Normally in defence, the midfield move working well. The highest rated Eagle on the ground, 22 disposals and a goal. Just maybe stopped a touch of the Saints' momentum, but they can continue to go. Bouncing footy. Jinby out of defence will attack it. And he roosts the footy right up the middle. Reid with strength through. Webster out. Margin 29. Game opening up. Sinclair. He'll look centrally. He wants Collard up high. Couldn't hang on. Hutchinson. And now to Duggan. Out of defence with a long kick, and that ball is knocked away.
Smart play.
That's a nice fly, isn't it?
On the ruckman too. They're going to need something to spark from the Saints. They're grinding away and they're still in this, but West Coast seem to match them on the scoreboard at least this quarter.
Ball knocked down. Flynn there. Sinclair knocked it on. Bouncing footy. Baker changed his mind. Was able to get around. Long ball goes up the wing. Big pack up and some bodies feeling the effects of it. 2 Eagles down. Cripps and Waterman. It stayed in play. Right at the interchange. Windhager will go back. Travalia into the action. Wants to get it moving. Wanganeen Miller out for Collard. Wilson back for Collard to delay the handball. He was fumbling near his feet. The Eagles pressure closed. They scrap for the footy and will get a ball up.
Well, once again, a little fundamental fumble. Oscar Allen now sits behind the play with 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go. They've gone to that mode again for the third quarter in a row.
Flynn after it. And the free kick will go the Eagles' way, just as Hill was looking to burst.
I just wonder if the Saints, now that it's happened for the third term in a row, might think about equalising and trying to at least even the numbers up.
Harris is the spare here.
Long and Caminiti. Well spotted. They'll chip it dangerously to centre half-back Hill for the run of Travalia. Can he provide a bit of extra run in this finish? Still a long way to go as we close in on three-quarter time. Owens away. Travalia again looking up. And he'll go wide for Collar. He's looking inboard.
He just needs to take his 30 seconds and try to go back and slot this one. It's an interesting 3 minutes coming up here. Either way, for the Saints, what they do in the box in terms of equalising, or do they keep their plus one behind the ball and try to draw the Eagles spare Oscar Allen, who's gone behind the ball?
Collard, the young West Aussie. There's an Eagles NGA product. And the kick goes out the line and out of bounds on the full. It's taken inside kick 40. The rules have been changed since. So the Eagles couldn't match it. Collard ended up at the Saints. 2:40 to go till three-quarter time. 29 points it is. Wallich Mara up 15 inside 50s to 9. And 3 goals to 2 in this turn. Long ball. Flynn out the back, Hill. Murray Yoroka will love one before three-quarter time. Wanganeen Miller, a rare mistake. He's got time to recover. Burns, most defensive player on the field, and it's going to be down the ground as he copped the bump as he got the kick away.
Probably there, to be honest.
McRae goes up to steal. Cross, an important spoil. Caminiti down there. Sinclair, Marshall, and he's under enough pressure that it forces the ball out of bounds on the full.
Grabbing his shoulder as well.
And Hoff gets stuck into him. Threatened to just boil over a few times. Long ball up the line. Wanganeen Miller up in the air. McRae down low. Steals after it. Bryce dispossesses him. Boundary lines there. Eagles keep it in. Graham on the boot. They could be out if Cripps had held onto it. Travalia now. Get it to Sinclair. Just when the Eagles are going to break now, it's the Saints' turn. Hill goes inside 50. Knocked away by Oscar Allen, being swung back. Mason Ward, he's kicked a few. He started them well. Try to work it back far enough, but it's out to the right. And could have done with that.
And it's chaos everywhere at the moment. Let's have a look at this. That's after the incident.
Philip who hurt his finger there trying to...
He did. I don't like that bump in the back either. There's a bit going on everywhere at the moment.
Closing in on three-quarter time. Flynn.
You know, when you play a +1 behind the play the last 3 or 4 minutes, it almost guarantees the game played in your back half, and it's something they've got to reflect on post-game. You can see the last 4 inside 50s with this move.
Flynn up the line. Bouncing footy. Knockdown Reed away. There's Ryan. He's flying past them all with a handball to his advantage. No one in between him and the goals. They close in. Away to cross. Another youngster for the Eagles trying to make his mark, but that one goes across the face. Ryan was almost away, all the way to the goal square. Wilson still covered in that paint from the other end. Inside the last minute. Margin staying at 29.
And just the difference in, you can see behind the goals there how big St Kilda are trying to make the ground, but West Coast haven't covered. And then normally the other way around, West Coast, when they've got ball in hand, make it skinny, make it contest to contest.
Windhager long. Caminiti there. Wood 2. Tackle from Marrick.
And you have to say it's been an advantage, clearly, West Coast at this point in time.
Well, when you make the ground big and you turn it over, you're vulnerable. And it works well. A lot of teams do it. When it doesn't work, it's quite vulnerable.
Marshall and Flynn at it again. Reed. Ball spilling through. A few sets of hands. Still so good to get it to McRae. Up to half forward. Up away from Owens. At the spill. Jaden Hunt arriving first. Great tackle from Hall. Back to Allen. High ball to the wing. Only a few seconds remain though. It's going to deny the Saints a late chance to creep closer. Another quarter one by Woolwich Maryland. 3 in a row today. They've struggled all season to keep that level up. Are they going to do it for one more quarter? Or can the Saints find a way to get back into it and deny them their first win of the year? Big final term coming up. 29 points the margin as we turn 5.
Everyone's welcome here. There's plenty of room on the bandwagon.
Big gospel friends are coming. I hear it in the band. I hear the car is moving. And it runs up to the band. Oh, get on board. Get on board. Get on board.
Hey, Billy, we're gonna need a bigger float.
There's no more in there. Get on board. Get on board.
back to the midfield, paying dividends as he found the first goal of his career. He'd had a few opportunities to do it previously. You can see how much his teammates knew he was waiting to kick his first. A great moment in that third quarter. And a spirited performance from the home team, still searching for their very first win of season 2025. They led it by 29 points. Adam Simpson, take us into the coach's box.
I'm going to start, Sim. I'm going to get in front of you before you talk about the pressure bit, because points from turnover, it talks to how well West Coast are pressuring and tackling. So they had 7 more tackles, and it's created points from turnover. Yes, St Kilda have been fumbling and turned the ball over in the wrong parts of the ground, which has played into this stat. But Simo, it's a big advantage in the three quarters.
Yeah, and on the flip side, St Kilda have only had 12 forward-half turnovers. But this is what I've been talking to the players about at three-quarter time. So they're sitting at 188 pressure, which is really good, really above AFL standard. The last 10 minutes of that quarter, though, they slipped down to 159. So can they maintain the pressure, although that's not only brought turnovers, it brought perceived pressure as well. So really important half an hour coming up for both teams. You know, Ross, I know the first thing he's going to say after the game, it's their front half turnover game, which was third in the comp going into this round.
30 seconds, Ken.
It's sitting at 12 so far, is way below AFL standard.
Another issue for the Saints at the moment, so they've only had 33 inside 50s, but they're scoring at like a third. Like, it's well below AFL standard, so not getting supply and not actually connecting either, so that's the issue for them.
They're not getting a lot out of their clearances, Dave. I mean, they're winning them, but they're not getting the inside to out look. A lot of it's surge kick, dump kicks, where perhaps the message might be this quarter, let's use a bit of hand, let's show our way and try and get a bit more quality inside 50. So as much as it's been the lack of supply, it's been the type of supply as well.
Andrew McCullough searching for his first win as coach of West Coast. 1 game for 4 as interim at Richmond. Nice line with plenty to ponder as he makes his way back up to the box.
Well, they put Garcia in the midfield that quarter. He spent most of the time in the front half in the first half, and that quarter he went into the midfield. So they're trying a few different things.
Andrew McCullough, of course, a former Saints player. Spoke during the week about being mentored by Ross Lyon.
I don't think Ross cares about that right now.
No, not at all.
But chasing that first win, he's obviously won as a senior coach before at Richmond in the interim, but coaching your own side and going through a really tough part of the club's history to be 30 points up going in the last quarter is exactly what you need.
There's a move. Owens into the midfield alongside Harley Reid.
29 points the margin. Walsh, Murrowa, Euro, so Doug Nichols, Indigenous rounds. Sunday afternoon footy in the west, out in the middle. Owens will play that tackle. They're trying to change some things up, trying to find a way back into the game.
Yeah, Filippo's going deep. Forward 50 as well, out of the goal square.
Reid knocked it on, Wood on the boot. I love a quick one. Bounce important. It was read well by Filippo early. Boot to ball, but to the near side.
So there's a couple of the magnets that Ross has moved. He's got Owens up around the ball. Bigger body. Can he get a bit more of that inside to out for the Saints? And can Filippo hit the scoreboard? He's threatened at times, but just hasn't quite got into the game after half time.
23rd disposal for Hoff. Goal to his name. Playing an important role in that midfield. Marrick's had a heap of it too. And Oscar Allen building into it.
It's also important for West Coast to win the quarter. You know, keep playing the same way they've been playing. Don't go back into your shell. Play the system that McCall's been teaching over summer. Does it stand up in a really big quarter?
They've only won 5 quarters coming into today. They've won all 3 so far.
And they've done it really without Tim Kelly having an influence on the game. Liam Ryan hasn't had a big influence. Oscar's kicked a couple, but he hasn't touched the ball often.
Make it down the line. Reid! To the air goes Harley. And he just helps his teammate after sitting on his head. He bangs it long inside 50. And the mark will be taken by Wilkie. An excitement machine is Harley Reid. It's why you come to the footy. Over the top of his co-captain as well. Too busy watching the replays. Brock sends it away. And now the Saints can break through the middle. Might have been a highlight with the mark, but the important thing the Saints want is a goal back the other way. Now they have the footy. Jimby took it pretty well. Way to Brock. And Now Jaden Hunt out wide for Hutchinson.
These players, the Hutchinson and Hunt types, have done a really good job today of getting on the outside and playing their role, being really predictable with their running patterns and ball movement. It does look like they've slowed the game down a little bit, West Coast, this quarter, at the start of it anyway.
Just control, yeah.
Now Duggan to the 50. Harley went for a hanger again. An unrealistic attempt or a push. Yep, a free kick will go back to the Saints.
They'll take the good with the bad, perhaps.
Free kick goes live. You're right. Winhager with some dash and drive to half-forward. They got the outnumber. Sharman was there, but Edwards was able to spoil it down to the teammates supporting. Duggan taking a ground. Steele.
They had two out, actually. Let's have a look at this. Hanging on your co-captain. Better buy him a coffee or something during the week to say thanks. It's a nice run and jump at the ball. But yeah, they're out a couple of times there. The Saints just can't connect. It's been a feature. We've talked about it a lot.
Flynn with a spike. Sinclair will get there first. And some metres inside 50. Harry Edwards.
Been good today. Really predictable performance. I think Liam Duggan being down there has really helped him.
Set mark to the Eagles. Back up the wing they go. McRae, Travalia, Hill. Some support from Wilkie. Don't want to bomb it long. He trying to pick out instead. Winhager, Kelly with some pressure. Knocks away. Wilson in there. Wood back for Wilson. And now Burns. He'll go inside 50. Wobbly footy. Philippo's there. Higgins floated across in front. It almost was taken high. They pile in on top and get a ball up.
It's getting tense. Yeah, I think the Saints have got one more swing in it before it becomes out of reach. There's still 16 minutes to go.
Stack of time remaining. Owen's getting busy. And the tackle slip up from Hewitt. Reed rips it out of there. And now Lawrence Murrow can run it up the wing. A couple of bounces for Cripps. He's got runners inboard. He wants to drive it further. Still up for Waterman. Saints got back. Ball still there. Webster. Cavanini played it well. Williams a good tackle. Webster's after it. Bangs it on the boot, back up the wing. McRae paddled it down. Oh, it's Sharman. End-to-end stuff now at Optus Stadium. Finds Philippo. Not much inside 50. Only had one option, and it's the number one in Jack Higgins. That is elite vision.
Incredible kick. Just teams, both teams at the moment have got numbers out. The fatigue is starting to set in, and you think, Simo, the team with a little bit of composure and a little bit of a cool head might be able to just identify the outnumber and then go into open goal.
Higgins for goal number 3. It's tight, but it's home. The Saints are certainly close enough to make a charge.
Absolutely. It's game on. A few West Coast players, hands on hips as that transition went from end to end. Cripps an opportunity to perhaps lower his eyes, then it comes back with interest at the other end. And when this happens, there's players free everywhere. It's just about execution, and you can see
Great kick, this one.
this is a great kick, and Cripps' kick almost come off to Waterman. And when it comes off, you score. If it doesn't, there's free players everywhere.
Filippo wish they had no other option there except to do what he did. And he executed it brilliantly.
Flynn's looking tired too. I start to consider Bailey Williams in the ruck to finish off the game.
Higgins with his third. He takes a seat. We're back in the middle. Marshall and Flynn. Tied. Free kick perhaps given away. And now Sinclair will drive it in. And it's waiting for Collard, who jumped underneath it off hands. The Eagles defence living dangerously. Hill's in there. Marrick to the turf. Needs to try to get it out. Didn't make a huge attempt, really.
Just another example where Sinclair's just bombed that one long. They actually had some outnumber footy. Use your numbers around the ball.
We're knocked away from McRae. Ball to be thrown in. Marshall in the ruck. Good front position. Brockman being busy. McRae was clever. Was touched Fresh off the boot, the high ball going in. Edwards there, knocked away. Sharman after it there to keep his feet. Saints kick a couple in a row. It is game on in the West.
Players are getting tight. Players are getting tired, and clearance goal. One-on-one everywhere. Just ball got popped out inside and out. Brockman had a chance to restart a stoppage. It just spills out. McRae, that's what he's great at. Just the second phase, and courage from West Coast, smarts from St Kilda, and absolutely game on.
Just haven't been able to get closer than this for much of the match, have they, the Saints? For 15 points. Can they actually get the next one to really put some down? And the Eagles might have time to respond, if you will, tomorrow.
Important clearance. Flynn after it. Brockman. Fleet of foot. Able to escape. And an outlet kick for Kelly, who can roll and go. He looks to the pocket for Allen. Perfect execution out of the middle. And they get it to their full forward.
Second week in a row, they've got Brockman go through the midfield and the centre bounce, and that's why. And you saw the contrast with Sinclair in the last centre bounce to lower his eyes. Tim Kelly's a permanent half forward now, and that's where he cut his teeth at Geelong. And great connection inside 50.
Check of the breeze. Takes his time, measured approach. Plenty of pressure on the kick. Trying to hold the Saints at bay. Couldn't find a steadier. A miss there as the doubt continued to creep. Still a heap of time remaining in this one. Saints have got a sniff of it. Wangani Miller out of defence, was unsure where to go and turn it over. Duggan will go back in deep. Long ball going in. Gross trying to fly to the floor. Kelly into the post.
He's had a good couple of minutes, hasn't he? Tim Kelly almost on that occasion, but the Saints are at odds when they're coming out of the D50. Use your extra numbers.
All sent along by Burns. Sharman the target. Boundary line there. Everyone can take a deep breath. Reset.
Good reflection of defending a kick in the old traditional zones. Everyone's one-on-one these days across the competition, and just no options there for a fast play.
Saints winning the clearances in this final turn. Spills out the back heel, a whistle. And it will be a free kick to Euro.
Free kick now. And Flynn's given away. When he gets fatigued, it's good to stay honest in the contest.
He's had a big day, Rowan Marshall. You're right, Timo. I wonder if that's time to activate that change.
We'll go out wide. Sharman leading up. Thought about the handball over the top for the run of Hill. Poke it to half forward. Wood. He can go wide. Shows a lot of it to Ryan and turnover. Hard work from Liam Ryan to get back to help out. And now Waterman. Hutchinson. That's his look up the field. Thought about the short one. Go longer instead. Flynn. Important mark. Now they break. Graham bursting forward. He waits for the footy to arrive. And he marks inside 50.
Well, it's a good tip your hat to Flynn. He's got the message to get off the ground to have a spell. And just put one last effort in. Don't forget Marshall's been on his own almost all day, so...
Crucial turnover this one from Wood. Well done from Liam Ryan. Active in your defence.
That phone in a lot of danger.
Yeah. That phone has been thrown a few times.
Jack Graham, two-time premiership Tiger. Brought into the Eagles, having a career best season in terms of disposals. Hasn't kicked one in the blue and gold. He gets a vital steadier right now.
Always great to see the celebration for a first-time goal kicker. Even if he's kicked a fair few before the Tigers. And of course, his teammates getting across there and celebrating that one. There's that effort. Anthony Miller, I came across, he was actually in the best position here, but you can see he's limping off the back there. So good effort from Matt Flynn. Great finish from Jack Graham. Deserved that one, being terrific in the tackle pressure today. 16 disposals, 8 tackles, and finally a goal on the board.
Definitely not over. I mean, the pressure factor we spoke about at three-quarter time, they've slipped down 140 West Coast, so there's some tired players there, and there are lots of holes opening up.
Margin 23. Just under 12 minutes to go. Out of the middle, Kelly's in there. Spills to McRae. On the boot, they go inside 50. Marek across, didn't mark it. And high contact caught by the umpire off the play. It'll be a free kick to Marek. His 21st disposal.
The one player looks like he's still running on top of the ground is Tim Kelly, and part of his half-forward craft allows him a little bit more energy to get outside the contest and get connected.
He had a quiet afternoon, but a big 10 minutes. Now Gross. Up the wing, Ryan. The elevation, Caminiti. Out the back, Sinclair. I'm going to just swivel the hips and get clear. McRae. All had to wait for it. Baker was good. Garcia feeds it inside. Hill. Windhager. They're lining up St Kilda. I want to move forward though. The kick from Owens is a good one out wide. I have to wait for it. Push was there. O'Connell able to hang on. Now gives it across to Wood. They can go deeper inside. 50. Filippo. Edwards. Big spike away in defence.
That's great defence, and just enough delay on the ball. Almost 50 metres, but enough delay on the ball to allow West Coast to get back and defend. You can see what it means to the players as they get around Harry Edwards.
All spun in. Bailey Williams is there.
Just wonder, upon review of this one, the Saints might rue missed opportunities, not identifying where their numbers are.
Chance here. Hall tackled. Jimby's got him.
10 minutes to go. There's still time, but you're right. The goals have conceded, even this quarter, have been off turnover plays where it's unforced.
Knocked down. Boundary line again.
This is the time when you're in the box and you're starting to talk about what can we do to change the complete direction of this game. So Ross is one of the better coaches to really mix things up, whether it's personnel or positioning.
One thing is to get up on your play. You saw it just flashed up on your screen. 20 marks to 8 this quarter. So West Coast controlling the ball a bit more. Got to get up and defend those and try to turn them over, and then that allows you to get a chance to score.
That's a great point. That at some stage, West Coast are going to play that pass from behind the play. What do you do with that? I know teams take on the spare and shape and overlap. I'm just not quite sure if St Kilda's built that way.
Saints inside 50. Williams down there, clearing kick. Burns, good body work. Still got a nudge cross underneath it. Can he find a target? They go very wide. Mark to Sinclair, who steadies. Filippo had it in his hands, and then Edwards able to knock it away. They clear it again for the Eagles. Ryan was there. Saints with numbers out the back. Burns, Caminiti showed the footy. Now they can go. They need to execute going inside 50. Collard. Just held up on the mark long enough. Short ball in, not 15 for Hall. They have to keep rolling. Garcia, can he find a target? He can. Higgins couldn't mark. Time to recover. Loves a snap. Swings it home. Jack Higgins, his fourth. Margin back under 20.
Well, they work hard for their goals, the Saints, but they still stay in touch. With 9 minutes to go, it's only 3 goals. It wasn't 15. And then you think this one hits the target. Maybe Higgins just goes under the ball a little bit. And they needed to kick that one because Jack Sinclair was all by himself in the pocket. But they had to work hard, but they keep in touch.
He's had a pretty good year, hasn't he? He's had 27 goals, 4th today. He'll get along the ball, but when he does...
An incredible year, really. Equal second in the Coleman medal standings. Level with Jeremy Cameron. An important one there in the final turn. Still a stack of time remaining.
And 2 rucks back in there. Owens in there next to Harley Reid as well. Game on.
Margin back to 17. Flynn and Marshall. Marshall the hit out. Hewitt collected. Garcia collected him. 3-1 in the final term. Marshall down. Baker lost it. Sinclair just couldn't take it through the pack. Wilson, Hill, and a throw the call.
There's that pressure.
Yeah, great pressure.
They've laid 62 tackles today, West Coast. It hasn't always been about sticking a tackle. It's just being that perceived pressure or that sense of an Eagles jumper in your face.
The long kick inside 50. Bailey Williams. Has been a presence inside 50 today.
He has, and you know, the deep entry mindset from the very beginning is paying dividends. You don't get any smaller in the front half, and doesn't always take those types of marks. Something he's been working on for years, and gets his hands to a lot of balls. He's got a tremendous leap on him, and to take this mark and most important kick of the day, I would have thought.
Been in and out of the side this season as the Eagles tried to find the right combination. So whether he was a ruck, whether he was a forward, only had 2 goals before today this season. He's doubled it up, slots it through, and they hold the Saints at arm's length.
You backing him in, Michelle, Simo?
I wasn't backing him in all. But it come from another fundamental error with Hill not disposing it properly. You see there. It's
interesting.
That's good on the through.
Self-inflicted. Yeah, coming in, he just slips to the front here a little bit. I guess he's trying to play assertive, but then Williams gets around the side. He's got body work. It's almost an uncontested mark, almost. And when you do win the ball in that area of the ground like they did and drive it in, you do give your forwards a chance.
That's what Ross spoke about, the vulnerability of their back half at the start of the game.
Last win for the Eagles, round 22 last season. It's the second longest losing streak in the club's history. They're trying to bring it to an end today. Up by 23 and going inside 50 again. Brought into the pocket for Ryan.
They've been good out of the centre square. Saw it last week when they had 9 scoring shots from centre square bounce. Well, they're actually faring better today, and particularly just the last couple, how important it is to win a centre clearance.
Well, the other thing St Kilda did, they took a risk. The halfback just flew through and left Brockman on his own, and that's why you saw him pop into the screen free. It was an all-or-nothing play, which you've got to go to this time of the game.
Perhaps in career best form this season, Liam Ryan loves a goal. He gets the crowd roaring, and possibly the Eagles flying towards a win.
Still 7 minutes, but a quarter of almost broken them because, Simo, this is what happens when you're trying to roll the dice.
You do. You'll see a halfback flash through the screen. Brockman free. Plenty of space there. And they're the risks you've got to take. Yeah, it's just what you've got to do. You've got to get in front of the play. And Lamb hasn't kicked too many goals at home this year, so he does ignite the crowd. As we see Waterman come on for the last 5 minutes. And can they finish this game? I think this game said a little bit more about West Coast and St Kilda as much as St Kilda have been off tonight.
The crowd have been waiting for a performance at home. And they're out by 29 points with 7 minutes remaining. And the Saints got one last effort in them, one last surge. It's actually the Eagles that get it out of the middle. Travalia down there, Wilkie away. Ryan picked the pocket. He wants to stroll in and just done another. We haven't seen this very often of late.
Well, the crowd too. I mean, there's 44,000 here today and starved. And trust me, I know what it feels like. The starvation corner for a few years. So to have a win at home and Liam Ryan to come into the game.
He stole it. It was just brilliant play, wasn't it? And that's the skill he possesses. You talked about not hitting the scoreboard so much so this year, but he's played a bit of a different role. He's been inside a lot more, and he's still got the electric skills. And have a look what he does once he celebrates. Set a clearance again, 2 from 2.
So Doug comes around, always likes to step up and play his part. So he's fit too. He looks as fit as he's been for a while.
The noise immense at Optus Stadium as they head towards a victory. 35 points now the margin. The Eagles' highest score for the year. Flynn knocked it down. Sinclair. High ball in. Higgins at the front. Brocker spoiled. Way Hall. Now Hill. Can they find one here? The Saints. Travalia wrestling. Tim got to trap it. Then Coltrane. Tim spills through. Hall on the boot. And they get one back to the Saints.
It's really opened up, hasn't it, this last term? Both teams scoring pretty easily once it goes in there. 8 inside 50s for 4-2 for the West Coast this term, and St Kilda 4-1 from 11 entries. So fatigue has set in. They've opened up the game a little bit, both coaches, or so Ross has in particular, but it's a nice finish in the end.
Well, a good finish, and the centre bounces are critical. So both sides, different modes. One's trying to stop and protect, the other's taking a risk.
Back to the centre they go. Marshall and Flynn. Marshall the hit out. Hewitt always on the move at the centre bounce. And we get to Baker off half back to Kelly. Back through to Baker. Creative handball as they go inside 50. Wilkie off hands. O'Connell. Wanganeen Miller. Wilkie out of defence now for Webster. Can they break it open through the middle of the ground? The Saints. McRae's kick for Hill. They want to turn and go. Cannot waste any time. They want to put some scoreboard pressure on. Winhager will just go for distance. Sharman front spot. Edwards is spoiled. Higgins weighted down. Marshall's being huge and snaps another late goal. Is there still a chance?
It would take some time of effort from here with 5 minutes to play, and they have to kick 4 goals. But given the play, they've been able to score this quarter. They've really opened the game up. It's a really nice long entry, good contest, and then front square. It's a great play from Higgins. He's been really impressive today. And Marshall, speaking of impressive, 25 disposals from the ruckman, 4 intercept marks, 4 clearances, and now a goal.
Let's go out on heading to the wing. Get ready to get him behind the play. Hutchinson will stay on the forward and drift up to the wing right side. West Coast have called the extra man behind the play. We'll see what the Saints do in response.
Still 5.5 minutes to go. 23 points the margin. Marshall will get it out of the middle. It was touched off the boot as it goes to the 50. Sharman knocked it down. Saints on the follow. McRae's kick. Duggan takes it and takes off. Ryan is out on the wing again. Open space ahead. He could have cut back. He wants Cripps instead. And then the ball knocked towards the boundary. Stay in play. Ryan looks up. And a composed kick to Fight Hewitt.
Very smart play. He had a corridor option on, but took the right one. You know, if it doesn't hit, it gets out of bounds, follows up his own kick, and he's been the difference the last 10 minutes, really, for West Coast. He's the one who's running on top of the ground.
He's had a huge last quarter because he didn't really have a huge amount of the ball. He's had 5 kicks to lead the disposals along with Tim Kelly. So 2 players that haven't had much impact in the game. They've been playing across half forward. Made an impact late.
Elijah Hewitt loves a goal. Here's a long kick. And he just roosts it home from distance. Again, the Eagles respond.
They've had all the answers all day, and particularly in this last quarter when Euro could threaten to push back into the game and get it to about a 3-goal game. West Coast have just said, no, we're not having that today. The defenders stood up on that occasion, and because St Kilda have opened this game up and created lots of opportunities for them to score, it's also made the Eagles score much easier in this last term.
There's been 10 goals kicked this last quarter from a different array of positions, whether it's been a centre bounce clearance or a back half transition, so it's really been really entertaining. Not so much for Securta, who done a lot wrong today in terms of fundamentals and execution.
Marching back out to 29. Bounce favoured Flynn. Want to continue.
Oscar Allen, you can see they're flashing through screen as he goes behind the ball, and the Saints are going with him. Caminiti is now playing as the 7th forward, given the fact that Oscar Allen's gone behind the ball. So it should mean an open forward line for the Eagles.
Yeah, one-on-ones all over the ground now is what Secour's created.
Flynn. Up to Waterman. Fell in short. Owens able to intercept. Go longer half forward. Flynn there. Knocked it down. Windhager going through. Hoff after it. 23 disposals today for Brady Hoff and a goal.
And he's the leading disposal winner for West Coast. Jack Sinclair with 36, Marshall 26 and McRae 25. So Saints have definitely had enough of the ball. They've had almost 60 more disposals, but they just haven't been as efficient. West Coast very good with ball in hand and creating scores.
Marshall trying to get Steele on the burst. It's Flynn on the boot. Then Ryan plays some sort of last quarter. Run it away to Kelly and then up to Waterman.
Both Kelly and Ryan having huge last terms. Certainly hasn't been their day personally for both those players, but when it's mattered most, they've stood up late.
Interesting with Tim Kelly. He's not the vocal point anymore. He's not getting tagged. He's playing half forward, and when needed though, they get him up around the ball, and he looks fresh. And I just think the hustle and bustle of an inside midfielder is probably not for him anymore.
Yeah.
It's a really good coaching move.
Jack Waterman wanting to just take all the time he could off the clock. And he'll go with a long-range shot. And it's another long bomb from outside 50. I can feel it now.
They're getting some of the fans some love that they haven't had across the last 12 matches in a row now. And last couple of years,
You can say it, mate. It's okay to say it.
but they, you can see here, just with Sankey trying to really open the game up, it does open those pockets up. This is a great finish from Waterman. From outside 50.
We spoke pre-game about the West Coast identity. Can they get their back half transition connected with some clearance work? And most of the clearances haven't been done whatsoever, but they've been competitive. It hasn't been a mauling in the middle. And if they keep that up, they'll win some more games this year.
Crowd enjoying it. Wins have been few and far between over the last few seasons. And they're going to sock this one up, you would think, as the chant goes around. The Eagles 1 point away from their highest scoring 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Just to highlight your
Just this year.
Look down.
You are.
Reed after it. Wanganeen Miller up away. Now McRae. High ball. Inside 50. In front. Edwards.
Is that a good day?
Yes.
Down back.
He's only played in the 8 wins across his 45 games. He's played a good one today. Send it out to half-back. Hutchinson was up. Flynn. The handball forward. Wilkie. After it, McRae will stab it in. Now Windhager. Wanganeen Miller up. Good kick. Higgins. Lone hand up forward. Did well to just knock it in. Trying to find Hill. The kick just missing the target as they went into
That's
the
the
50.
tail of the day for the Saints. Just can't connect or hit a target. Talk about the clearance numbers. They're +9, the Saints, but West Coast, you talk about their effectiveness. They've scored 6 goals, 3 from stoppage today.
That one in the ruck for the Eagles. Touched off the boot of Marshall, and Jimmy will punch it through.
Really predictable all day, most of the players. I mean, the Saints, they've got the Suns next week, and they've got them at home. Well, that could be a season-defining game. We've seen them play a lot better 2 weeks ago against Fremantle. They dismantled Fremantle's midfield, and
It's just been so up and down, haven't they? The Saints a lot. But this one's turned over.
Get it back again. The Saints, Wilson. Cross now to Steele into the pocket, wanting Higgins. Australian back there helping out in this last term on the boot. He was out of play.
It just identifies there's probably what Brisbane, Collingwood, maybe one or two others, Simo, that are consistent each week. Adelaide are maybe, and the Suns are maybe.
Bulldogs, yeah,
There's Hawthorn, there's a few, but after that it does drop away from a consistency perspective.
Between the lines. A blip here and there. It's now Hoff. He's tackled.
Well, we think that the 8's not settled, but it's not far off. And there's Fremantle outside the 8 at the moment. Essendon, after last night's performance, and the Saints, we asked themselves the question, where do you want to finish? 13's not a great spot to finish.
These are the next three matches, as you call it, the Suns, Melbourne, and they've got the bye.
Into Tower Springs for that non-fixtures. They retry and launch high again. Wilson, Sinclair, Ross over the top. Now they run through the middle. Waterman will set up on the handball. Good tackle from O'Connell. Wilkie up to Sinclair. Short ball and space opening up, and Higgins can go back for number 5.
Gee, he's been a threat all day, hasn't he?
He plays on, he loves to kick it around the corner. And because he can execute it perfectly, he's got a handful, playing a lone hand up forward. 5 goals for Jack Higgins.
The seasons he is having. We talked about it before. Right up in Coleman medal contention for a small forward who doesn't have a huge amount of supplies.
All Australian in the mix.
Certainly, I would have thought so.
Desperately missing King at the moment.
Yeah.
Some of the entries we saw earlier in the game. Shallow didn't really connect, and West Coast made them pay, and they couldn't lock in the front half, and then the leg just got away from it. They made their run too late.
3 goals in the final term for Jack Higgins. Saints still taking their opportunities earlier on in the game. Eagles on the verge of their first 4 points of 2025. Trey tackled in the middle.
It's been good, hasn't he, Brockman, when he goes in there? Doesn't have a huge amount of disposals, but he impacts when he's in there.
Marshall down. Brockman shrugged the tackle. Hoff disposal number 24. And they go high inside 50. Wilkie able to knock it away. As the seconds tick down, it's been a big performance by the home side. An inspired effort on a weekend of emotion. The Eagles break through for their first win of the season and their first win for Andrew McQuilter.
Every week. We really appreciate all the support, and yeah, just so happy for the young fellas.
Talk to me about the moment just before you're all on your own, you put your both arms up and just turn to the cheer squad.
Oh, they've just been amazing, and I know it's great to win a game of footy, but we've lost the legend of our club, and just want to send all love and support to the Selwood family. Mental health is such a massive thing in society at the moment. I struggled with my own mental battles this year, and I've been so fortunate to have such a great support crew around me to have my back throughout everything we've gone through. I just urge anyone out there who's struggling with anything, please reach out. Helplines, friends, reach out to each other, because we're heartbroken, and we just want to offer all the love and support we can to the Selwood family in this time.
So well said, Oscar. It has been a hard year for you as well. Did you feel the love of West Coast fans today who just looked to be absolutely loving you, playing forward, taking marks and kicking goals?
Yeah, they've always been terrific. I've been here for 8 years now. I grew up loving and supporting this club, and I still love and support this club with everything I've got. So you can hear them now. We had a great night, and really excited, as we said, for the young fellas to enjoy singing the song for the first time.
It's a little bit emotional out here right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've been working really hard. Obviously, there's been a lot of public criticism, and a lot of it's fairly due as well. But it's just really nice to reap some rewards for our hard work.
You're speaking like a co-captain right now. What about the coach, Andrew McQuilter, his first win as the Eagles coach?
Yeah, can't wait to give him a big hug against his old mob in St Kilda as well. He's a terrific man and terrific coach. He's going to be a great AFL coach for a long time, and he's setting us up in a really positive way. So stoked with how the Mini's gone so far, and again glad that he'll be in the middle getting drenched with Gate Racing in the song.
So prior to today, you'd only won 5 quarters of football, 5 quarters across 9 rounds. You win the first 3 today and set up this brilliant victory. What was it about today which just saw the club so up and about and keep the boys giving their all to get this victory?
Yeah, I think every good team bases their brand on pressure, but today it was more than just footy for us, and we spoke about this is about the West Coast community. We've lost one of our own, and just doing everything we can to reward them for all this faith and support they've given us throughout not only this year but the last 3 years. So yeah, it's a whole team effort, and just so happy we knocked the hammer on the head today.
A few quick ones to finish before I let you go celebrate with a bit of Eagle Rock. Brady Hoff's first AFL goal, how good was that?
He's missed about 6 or 7 shots this year, Hoffy. He's been in a lot of positions. He's one of our young, great culture kings. He's done a terrific job. He's moved into the midfield and has got a long career ahead of him as a superstar.
And Liam Ryan, in set-up Nichols round, he was electric today.
He's electric every week. The things we really marvel is his pressure and intensity. I think he got his first goal from laying a tackle and the second one from laying a tackle as well. So not only him, but I thought TK and Tyler Brockman, Sir Douglas Nichols round is so awesome to be able to celebrate it, and the Indigenous players are such a massive part of our footy club.
Finally, Harley Reid's mark in the last quarter. Does he owe you a copy or two?
Yeah, put a knee in the back of my head, the big fella. But in true Harley style, he made sure he picked me up before he kicked the ball. So I don't think Jakey was too happy about it. He had an isolation up front, but he's just a young developing player. He's getting better every week. So really proud of how he handled himself today.
No, you're not talking to me. Go and enjoy this one. Well done, Oscar.
A lot of people were starting to doubt whether they would in fact win a game this year, but the West Coast Eagles have broken the drought. They've recorded their first win for the season and their first under new coach Andrew McQuilter.
All right, folks, there we go. The Eagles upsetting the Saints over there at Optus Stadium in Perth. Another upset, 2 upsets in a row. But fantastic to see the Eagles getting up, of course, in recognition of the Selwood family there. Tell you what, it was a goal spree in that last term, 6 goals apiece. You got to love it. 16-12, 108, defeating the Saints. 12-8, 80, 4 goals. 28 points, victors to the Coasters. Hey, Ryan, cheers, brother. Appreciate that super chat. Always very kind, very kind. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Hey, just before I roll off and finish this, we're just going to have a look at the goal scorers. Quick glance at the stats before we head off to complete another round 10 of football. Of course, Jack Higgins for the Saints kicked 5. Well, he kicked a bag. Mason Wood, Darcy Wilson kicked 2. Sharman Marshall 1. Maxie Hall kicked 1 for the Saints. And for the Eagles, Bailey Williams, Waterman, Ryan, Reed and Oscar Allen all kicked 2. Singles to Hunt, Hoff, Hewitt, Graham, Flynn, and Crisp. I tell you what, there's a lot of goal scorers out there today. Disposal count, well, Jack Sinclair, 38, the only one in the 30s by a long margin. 38, 30 kicks, 8 handballs, 7 marks, 2 tackles, 6 clearances. Wow, that's a fair effort on a losing side. There we go. And the next 4, all from the Saints. Bradley Hugh was the best for the Eagles on 24. Good job to him. There we go. Arthur, how you going? Eddie G, wow, the Eagles are flying high. I tell you what, it was a good weekend of footy. The simple reason is Melbourne beat Brisbane. Pies still on top, Eddie G. You little beauty. Waterman there, the mullet man, 15. He had 2 and 1. good job to him. He just rolled down a little bit. Oscar Allen, 13 touches. He was just being interviewed then. 2 and 2 he kicked. Good job. Let's just keep rolling on down. Tim Kelly ended up with 12 there for the Eagles. And there are all your stats for all your players. Just a quick look at the team stats. Of course, St Kilda actually 55 plus in the disposal count. Inside 50s, both teams had it in there quite a bit. The Eagles 59, that's high, considering 44 is the season average, although St Kilda got in there 54 times as well, both above at season average. Free kicks wasn't too bad. 22-18, reasonably close in that department. The hitouts was pretty even. Clearances was the Saints by 7. Centre clearances all square there. Stoppage clearances, Saints by 7. So it was pretty even around the ball there. Contested, pretty contested game there. Uncontested. The Saints just by 40 there. There we go. Through some of that uncontested. They chipped it around. They got the ball. Marks plus 18. Marks inside 50. Good to see both teams opening out their forward line, giving their forwards a good chance. 12 apiece. And, of course, the tackle count for today was both reasonably good for both teams. 67-63. Inside 50, both teams putting on good forward pressure there. But that is all. Hey, I tell you what, the poll, our voting got it right today. West Coast Eagles, 88%. Hey, Mark, Eagles win. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? 28-point victors over the Saints. Another upset game. Let me see if this ladder is reloaded. And, of course, there it is. Of course, down there, I can't pronounce that name, but that is actually the West Coast Eagles, after playing 10 games, their first victory of the season. 1-9 they are. There we go. St Kilda, let me try and find them. Yuri York. There we go. They're the Saints. Big loss for St Kilda. Well, that would have put them on 20 points, equal on 8, but they're still now a game outside of the top 8, so that rounds out. After round 10, Collingwood still sit on top of the ladder. Brisbane second, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, Bulldogs, Adelaide, Geelong, and the Giants. Just having a quick glance at next week's round. Let me just bring them up. Let you know who these two teams are playing next week. So next week, St Kilda and West Coast Eagles. West Coast Eagles next week. I tell you what, it's not going to be easy. They're going to travel over to Adelaide, and of course they're going to be playing Adelaide at Adelaide Oval next Sunday. That's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding game. It's going to be a tough game for them. And of course, Sunday late afternoon, St Kilda will be playing the Gold Coast Suns, Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. So that's going to be another. That'll be another tough game for these sides. But football action all kicks off again, folks. Thursday evening. 7:30 p.m. where Geelong Cats take on the Western Bulldogs at GMHBA Stadium. That's going to be a cracking game. Of course, I think Geelong pulled up with a couple of injuries out of last night, and the Western Bulldogs are absolutely on song so far this season. Good on them, though. I tell you what, it was good to see the Eagles win. They've been playing patches. They haven't won too many quarters throughout the season. But it's good to see them have a victory. That is for sure. It's pretty tough when you see a team go through the season winless. So it was good to see them put a win on the board. Makes it better for the competition, I think, when you get a few teams back up and running a little bit. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. So thanks, everyone, for coming in. And special thanks to Ryan Avery Rogue One for the super chat. Appreciate that, Squire. And we'll catch everyone at the next game. Ciao for now.